Hello, this is Tom, aka Zedion here for Tabletop Tap Room, and we are again rediscovering first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Due to my discovery, I don't really think it's like that song, I've looked at clouds from both sides now. I really don't think I know clouds at all. Looked at Dungeons and Dragons from win and lose from both sides now, and I really don't know AD&D as well as I thought I did. So we are looking at Hirelings today. We looked at high-level, name-level followers that just show up for the player characters when they begin to reach name level. Today we're looking at Hirelings. Hirelings, which are different than henchmen. Henchmen are dependent upon, the number of henchmen are dependent upon your charisma statistic. But hirelings, you can hire as many as you want as you have gold to spend the money on them. So let's take a look at that. But before we do, let me just put a little plug in. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do hit the like, subscribe, bell icon. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Help me build the channel. Appreciate that. Also consider supporting the channel by checking out Tabletop Taproom Cafe Press Store, where we have some merch to defray the cost of running the channel. And check out our OSR for Life t-shirt. You might find that something of value to you. So moving right along, we have my trusty PDF of the Advanced Dungeon Master's Guide. And we want to go to page 28. My PDF page will be 29. And here we have Hirelings. Now, I got to say right up front, I don't know second edition. So it may be that this idea of Hirelings existed in this format in second edition, and maybe it didn't. I'm pretty sure henchmen still existed. We're still a legacy thing in second edition, and I believe that they were still there in third edition. I think they were still hanging on. I don't think you see henchmen so much in fifth edition anymore. It's just fifth edition's very heroic. You know, it's like henchmen. We don't need no stinking henchmen. So, for fifth edition, yeah, the characters are very heroic. You do not need to beef up the purpose of henchmen. It's just not, the system doesn't really lend itself to them. At least my impressions of fifth edition from the limited play and ownership of limited fifth edition materials that I have. But Advanced Dungeons and Dragons came out of a style of play that was not story driven. It had not seen the Hickman revolution yet. It was mega dungeons and dungeon crawls, and you had this idea of gold was the measure. How much gold you took out of the dungeon was the measure of how much experience you got, because through better play, better management, smarter management of your assets, you could bring more gold out. So that was the measure of it. And that's why gold was linked to EXP, and everybody was like, gold, EXP for gold. There was a reason for it. And this is also why you saw parties back then, and sometimes you saw modules that said, like, parties of 8 to 10 or 6 to 10, or large parties, and they expected you to have large parties, that you would have henchmen, that you would have hirelings, that you would beef up the party with these extra characters, because dungeons were dangerous. There were no death saves. You die in the dungeon, you're going to start using a henchman or one of the other characters. No, you had such large parties so that if your character did die, You just grab one of the henchmen, start using that character as your player character. Or you rolled one up on the quick, the game master would be like, all right, in the next room you find 10 orcs and they've got some prisoners tied up. And when you free the prisoners, one of the prisoners happens to be your new player character. I mean, you did those kinds of things. So hirelings. As I look at this, I'm like, this is a really good idea. Even if you're not doing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where you really need to have these beefed up parties. So let's take a look at the expert hirelings. Not the expert hirelings, standard hirelings. These hire, and here's the thing. Hirelings, by and large, are not necessarily meant to go into the dungeon with you. Few exceptions, yes. But by and large, they're not meant to go into the dungeon with you. Like, for instance, if among the expert hirelings, you've got an alchemist, sage, scribe. These guys ain't going to the dungeon with you. You're hiring them and you're setting them up in your castle or your manor house in the city. You're setting up a lab and you're paying the alchemist to brew healing potions for you. So these guys are not adventuring hirelings. And, a blacksmith, he's not an adventuring hireling, a weapons maker, a leather worker. These are not adventuring hirelings. Now, some of these on the standard hirelings, I do consider them to be adventuring hirelings, but you probably need to pay them a bonus for going in the dungeon with you. And let's take a look at the Link Boy. So right away at first level, I think you should be getting a Link Boy. What is a Link Boy? Well, a Link Boy is a torch or lantern bearer. They're often youngsters, but mature men will also so serve, or will so serve. Also will so serve. The high guy accent. So I love this idea. I never had a Link Boy. My player characters have never had a Link Boy. This is something I need to rectify. I want to play a fighter now who's got a Link Boy who just carries the torch for him. I don't have to carry my own torch, and I'm not looking for a flaming sword, a flaming magic sword. I'm going to have my shield. I'm going to have my broadsword or my long sword, and I'm going to pay, for short money. And what's the monthly price for a Link Boy? 1 gold. Okay, I could double or triple that. And look, all right, yeah, so he's going to walk next to me with the torch or the lantern. I'm going to set him up with a backpack full of torches, some flasks of oil, and a bullseye lantern, for that time where we don't want all around light. We'll do the bullseye lantern, but for the most part, we'll do the torches and the tinderbox, and, he'll have his own food and wine and water skins, right? And so, maybe we encounter some waif youngster in the city square, have some role play. I might try to hire him as a Link Boy and set him up with this extra equipment. Very easily done, even at first level, because we're not talking a serious amount of money. But I can load him up with torches, and if combat erupts, he falls back. Okay, I'm not paying him to be in combat. I'm just paying him carry my torch for me. We set up camp for the night when we're hiking through the wilderness. His job is to get the fire going. He's got the tinderbox. He gets the fire going. All right. I fully recognize that he's not going to have great morale. Something like a mind flayer shows up. He's probably going to poop his shorts and run. Okay. And, and that's I fully recognize that, but I love the idea of just hiring a servant to carry the torch. So definitely, I'm looking at the Link Boy here. And again, if we're playing an edition of Dungeons and Dragons where experience points are linked to gold pieces, why not hire a couple of bearers, porters? Load them up with backpack and sacks. And, some food. we're not talking a huge outlay of money here. Where, monthly cost is 1 gold. I probably got to double or triple that to get him to go into the dungeon with me. They stay at the back of the party. Okay, we probably will need a player character back there. Tail end Charlie guarding the back of the party. But yeah, let's bring along. And this is something that the whole party can pool the money. At first level, you can pull some money together and hire these individuals who are going to let us bring more treasure out of the dungeon. So just bears and porters and a link boy are absolutely, I'm thinking, if not at first level, definitely by second level, we're hiring some of these hirelings for our game, even if it is not a game where EXP is tied to gold. I just love the idea. I've got some servants here. I might even hire a valet, valet lackey, 50 silver pieces for the month, to be the cook. Okay, to help me put on my armor, especially if I get plate armor at some point. It's my manservant. All right, get the shaving water heated. All right, nice close shave. Have that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna ham it up as a character that's gonna have a little bit of a retinue of servants that go along with him. And if we're playing a game where there's this gold piece EXP link, then as soon as possible, we're looking at a couple of mules and a pack handler. And now you've got servants who are not going to go into the dungeon with me, but now I need to protect them while I'm in the dungeon. So we may have one of those henchmen, which we'll do in the next video, as a lieutenant who's going to keep an eye on things outside of the dungeon. But we're also going to get into some of these expert hirelings, which you see here under mercenary soldier. All these different types, you get paid different amounts. And, small party of mercenary soldiers who guard the party, and are there to, if we're out in the wilderness, wandering monsters show up, pack of wolves, pack of wolf riders, a bunch of slingers or archers. My character is going to be out in front taking the battle to the enemy, but I'm going to be supported by these extra archers, extra slingers. So I love this idea of these hirelings, and you can hire as many as you want. It's not the same procedure as locating a henchman. So definitely, even at low levels, there's opportunity here for short money, very, very short money, to retain a small retinue for your player character. I absolutely love this idea. And even if we're playing BX, which doesn't have this, I'm totally using this. Totally going to hire some halfling slingers to guard my camp, So definitely, and then as you progress and maybe set up a manor house or a castle, that's when you hire an alchemist. And let's read up on the alchemist here. This profession handles the compounding of magical substances, and the advantages of employing an alchemist are detailed in the section under fabrication of magic items/potions. Alchemists will only be found in cities unless you specifically locate one elsewhere. It will require an offer of 10 to 100 gold piece bonus money, plus a well-stocked laboratory, plus the assurance of not less than a full year of employment to attract one to service. And the monthly cost is 300. So yeah, we're talking, he needs a location to work. It's got to have a stocked lab. You've got to cover the cost of the fabrication of the magic items, the potions, brewing of potions. and you got to pay him. Absolutely. Yeah. I want to put an alchemist on staff and have him brewing potions. Brewing those potions of healings, baby. Maybe even one of gaseous form every now and then, or one of a strength potion. Yeah, I mean, just some of the oddball stuff, but a lot of healing potions, so we can you chug the healing potion and keep on going. So definitely, I'm liking this idea. And even the expert hirelings, you have things you can grow into, like the alchemist. You might, depending on the style of play, and I might begin doing this as a game master, where you find a magic item, it's a powerful magic item, but you don't know the command word. You can't use it without the command word. How do you locate the command word? Well, you might need to hire a scribe or a sage. Hire a sage to research this for you. You might need to. You might want. There might be a book that you want to have in your castle because it's got information in it. So you might pay a scribe to travel to a city, make a copy of the book, bring it to you. Here's a promise of a bonus. I will pay you this much to start this journey. And when you complete it and you bring me back the book fully scribed, I will pay you this much. So definitely. And then in basic expert, around 4th level, that was when you started getting into the possibility of sailing adventures, hiring a ship, hiring a ship's crew. We've got the crew, the shipmaster. These are specials. And so there's room to grow with this whole hirelings and having a retinue. Because then as you build a retinue and you have this retinue that you are managing and you're taking care of, it informs the character. It informs how I'm going to play the character. My character is important. You can tell he's important because look at all his servants that he has here. And so I will play that character that way. I will play him a little differently than I would just play some wandering fighter who gets hired here and there. No, I'm Sir, whatever. This is a character. I'm going to play him to be a knight who pursues a title, that he's an important character. So, and that's, I think, going to add a level of fun to this character. If not a knight, maybe a cleric, but something along those lines. And to me, or even a paladin, even a paladin. So this is Tom from Tabletop Tap Room, checking out Hirelings in the 1st edition AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, pages 28 to 34. It's a nice, neat little section on hirelings. You have standard, you have expert hirelings, and this is something you can use at low level, medium level, high level play, and you might as well. It's something to spend all the money on, and after all, it's imaginary money, and there's always more of it in the next dungeon. So why not? I'm definitely going to be using it. So signing out. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. But until then, keep on gaming.